Good morning, vlog. It is Monday, March 18th, and I'm having a later start to the morning than I usually do, and at least on a Monday morning. I don't know, I just didn't get as good a sleep last night, I guess. Just had a slow morning getting up out of bed. Was able to take a shower at least and get ready in time. Got my coffee, all good to go. But I am gonna head out to work in a little bit. And from yesterday, I didn't really have too much of a follow-up in the afternoon. It was just more of some work catching up on some personal errand items that needed to be done. So that means just some chores around the house, getting the dishes done. Actually got to file our taxes, which was a great learning experience because I used to use like TurboTax or whatever for the free federal filing, but since I have since I've started building up some retirement accounts, and I also had like a personal investment account from the past couple of years that came with a different tax form, and TurboTax or H&R Block would charge anywhere from, I think TurboTax charged me $80 to file my tax return last year. And so this year I'm like, nope, done with it. I'm going to try something else out. And I'm going to learn to just file the taxes myself because I don't want to have to spend $80 just to file my required federal tax. And so I did a little bit of research, also known as searching on Google, and I found a Reddit thread where a bunch of people were talking about this one service called Free Tax USA. So I went to go check it out, looked legit, and decided to use that to file my taxes. And the entire process was free, even for filing with my investment accounts. I even sold some stocks last year, so I had to deal with capital gains tax and all that stuff. If you're not familiar with that, then there's short-term losses or gains, long-term losses or gains, and then you get taxed on those gains accordingly. But basically, was able to go through the process. It took me a little bit of time just because I had to learn how to read the brokerage account statement that I received, and just to interpret and read it correctly to make sure I'm putting in the right numbers in the right boxes, because the brokerage account statement is more of it's a summarized 1099 form, which, I mean, if you these are different types of forms that you need to fill out or need to have in order to appropriately fill out your taxes. The brokerage account that I doesn't use a standard 1099 form. It uses a summarized 1099 form, which has there's a 1099B, 1099 div for dividends, 1099 INT for interest. Any interest that you gain on an account during the fiscal year, you need to claim as income on taxes because you're getting money for your money just sitting in an account. So that was the challenge that I had to go through yesterday, and learning how to file a 1099B form, because I did sell some stocks and I got some gains from that sale, which would then be taxed. And so that was a good little life experience for an American filing taxes. And yeah, it's not as scary as people make it out to be. It just requires a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of technical and analytical skill to make sure you're looking at the right sections. But other than that, it's just filling in blanks. So I don't see why more people don't just file taxes themselves. I mean, granted, if you have your own business or you do make quite a bit of money and you have a different number of investments, then I can see the advantage of having a dedicated accountant to go and file those taxes for you. But if you're just small, independent, you don't really have too many accounts right now, then then just do it yourself. It probably, like, it at most would take an hour for you to gather all your forms and make sure you have all the documentation in front of you. But I mean, with using the new service that I found, the free Tax USA, I can link it down below on the video whenever I upload this to YouTube. And it was pretty straightforward. Just click next, continue. Yes, I have this. No, I don't have that. Anything that applies to you, like, you just fill it out. And yeah, I did it for my wife and I. We were filing jointly this year. But anyway, that is what I had going on yesterday. And today, I mean, I'm heading out to work, obviously. But after work, I think I should be meeting it back up with Danny again today to start recording the next iteration of our podcast that we're trying to get off the ground. Haven't put out any episodes yet. Right now we're kind of still in a recording and testing phase. And I hopefully have increased my production efficiency, because I bought a couple of 5-foot cables to use in more of a close quarters setting, instead of having, like a rat's nest of extra cabling going around everywhere and people potentially tripping over them. So we're going to see how that goes, and I'll probably throw a couple of Snapchat videos on there later of our process. But for now, it is off to work. All right, done with work. Had a relatively productive day. We're going through a new process right now that I'm still trying to get the hang of, but it's always a learning process. For lunch, I brought my lunch. I didn't have a chance to record anything during that time. I was doing like a couple of errands as well, sending out a couple of emails, checking on a few things. But now it's time to get back home, get some dinner, and get set up for the second session of recording the podcast with Danny. And I'm going to try to see if I can tie in to one of the camcorders I have, like loop in the audio from our mics into that camcorder, and then just record our session through the camcorder, just so I have an opportunity to make some more content that way. Why I've started to do my vlog is so I can because throughout the day, like, sometimes the idea just pops into my mind and I need to get it on film somehow, and then I go on my little rant, and then later I'll already have it documented so I can rehash it and condense it down to, say, like Twitter or Instagram or something, or Facebook or LinkedIn, and share it that way. Had a great little time recording the first episode of the Built-in Obsolescence podcast. I think that's an interesting name. There's a little bit of a story behind it, but I'll go into that a little bit later. But now I got to clean up and reset the dining room table that we used to record it. All right, got just about everything reset. I need to put Leo back and replace a few things up here. But I think it was an overall successful first actual recording, I guess, of this new podcast. Now to just do some slight editing on it and find out what I'm going to use for a graphic for the podcast thumbnail, and then put it out online. I can put it out on my site. Squarespace has some built-in podcasting tools available. I also am excited because I also did a video recording on a separate camera, and later I'll just, I guess, sync it up with our audio a little bit later, and I'll try and see if I can pull out some neat, interesting little tidbits for some potential advertisements that I'll try experimenting and running on Facebook and Instagram, and seeing what kind of reach I can generate from that. But anyway, I think overall a successful night. I have a lot of production work ahead of me in terms of editing the podcast. Thankfully, I have it on my iPad, and I'll use this as a learning opportunity to use the Ferrite application not only for recording the audio. I already did that. Now I get to learn how to edit the audio with it. But for now, it is getting pretty late, So I am going to go ahead and get ready for bed, and I will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great night, great rest of your Monday. It is Monday still, right? Yes. And yeah, until tomorrow, sweet dreams.